Hello all. Need a bit of a shave. Sorry about that. I have a instructional video that I would like to share with you, or I would like to share the instructions within the video, instructing you on what? So the other day I picked up one of the tools that I use in every figure that I've ever made, every toy I've ever made, every project that I've ever done, including making sandwiches. And that tool is my Dremel 4000. This is my Dremel 4000. For anybody who makes anything, sandwiches. In my case, I use this to Dremel down plastic, joints in particular. When I do joint prep for my figures, you don't want, when you paint them, you don't want the paint being scratched off when I wasn't flexing, I was trying to show you a joint. When you paint, you don't want the plastic to rub on other plastic, therefore creating joint rub. So what I'll do, and you might have seen me use this in a couple other videos, and I also use this in my Minox axe video. Dremel is a shaving utensil, a drilling utensil. Back when I first started doing this, or working with toy design, I used a Dremel as well. And Dremel is the brand, it's also the tool, as far as I know. But I used a battery rechargeable Dremel. It was a little bit smaller. It did the job fine, but thanks to a colleague of mine, you can check her out, Christina Conan Customs or CC Customs on Instagram. She suggested that I get one of these power tools. And I'm glad I did, because this thing has a lot of power. It was night and day as far as the workload it could take, and since it's plug-in, the battery never died. I was up to 3 batteries on my rechargeable. I was up to 3 batteries on my rechargeable one that I was interchanging as one would die. I'd grab another one. So anyway, this is a really good tool. It's very handy for customizers, toy designers, woodworkers. This thing could probably drill, and don't quote me on this, but it could probably drill through maybe concrete, to an extent. Plastic of any kind. It's awesome. So I went to use it the other day, and it just didn't turn on, and I was very saddened. So I immediately took it apart. Didn't see anything busted inside, so I put it back together. But what I did not look at was what was inside of these little round discs. What was inside these discs, you ask? Well, a tiny carbon-tipped brush, motor brush. You can see, you'll see more later on in the video. You can see the carbon tip right there, how it's almost worn down. I'll show you that in the video as well. There's one on this side, there's one on that side. They come out with a screwdriver very easily, and they're actually very delicate. The threads, when you watch the video, the rest of it, I couldn't think of the word threads. You want to be careful with the threads, you don't want to strip them. So I went on to, that was the only thing that I didn't check when I took it apart. I went on to YouTube. And I researched what if there was any troubleshooting as far as these guys went. And I found one fellow, and it was backed up by a second opinion from another fellow, and they both suggested replacing, before you do anything, replace your carbon tipped motor brushes. They cost 10 bucks for 2 on eBay, and as you'll see in this video, it was a good investment of $10. So I wanted to show you guys how to replace those. It's very simple, and I hope that you find it very simple as well. It's sandwich time. Oh, you get some oats. Alright, so this is my Dremel 4000. It is a great tool. It doesn't work right now because of the spring-loaded carbon-tipped motor brushes that need to be replaced. At least that's my guess, as I probably already said. So the way to replace those is super simple. The brushes are housed underneath these two disc-looking things, and you can tell how on mine the discs are placed lower than the actual Dremel. That's because I've tightened them down to try to press the carbon that's worn away closer to the mechanics that they help operate. That's not how you want it, and when I put the new brushes in, you'll be able to see that it won't be down that far. So I've already opened them up with my sharp X-Acto knife. Yeah. Be careful. Here are the brushes, and they're not really brushes, but I don't know why they call them brushes. Carbon tipped, spring loaded. Put these guys out of the way, and it's really simple. I've got my I call this my multi-screw. You can screw things in multiple different ways. You just counterclockwise, excuse me, take the discs off, and you can see almost like a battery, the metal under there. I'm sure there's other people who know how to explain the mechanics of that far better than I do. You just turn it, it falls out. Now if you look at the old one here and the new one here, you can tell how much it's worn away. And I've had my Dremel for roughly, I want to say three years, maybe 4. So that's the kind of wear, and I've never replaced these, so that's the kind of wear that you get after that many years and what it should look like. So let's get rid of that guy. Let's take the other one off. Same thing under there. And again, it's worn down pretty good, and you can see the dip in the groove right there. There you go. See the carbon on my finger? You can see the groove that it's made over time as the motor inside turns and oscillates, maybe that's the right word, turns against the carbon, grinding it away over time. So if you look at the space that they go into, it's a little bit longer going down the length of the Dremel, as is the carbon tip. So that's how you want to insert it. And you don't need any pressure. It's a pretty fragile feeling little piece. You just let it set in, and remember how deep the spring was on the old one. These guys are a little excited. Put the top back on, the cap. I like to give it a little turn again counterclockwise to reset the little do things, and then just very lightly set it in place. When you're screwing it in place, it feels like you're not doing anything, but you are. Again, long ways. Don't force anything, just kind of sets in there. Get our other cap. Place the cap on. Man, what are those things called? You don't want to strip the it's not grooves. Give it a little notch, a little twist counterclockwise, and then screw it in clockwise, and you should be good. And there's almost no resistance. And then I just let it sit. All right. Now you guys might have noticed a cut in there in the video. It's because when I replaced the motor brushes and plugged it in, it didn't turn on, and I was like, what's going on, man? So I unplugged it because I didn't want to get shock waved. Made sure I had the motor brushes sitting right, and then plugged it back in, turned it back on, and all right, so it works. The problem what I realized what was going on is that, like I said, with these caps, the motor brush caps, you really don't want to tighten them down too much, right? So as you can see on here, I've got it flush with the rest of the Dremel, and flush. You don't want them too deep. I don't know if that, because they're making a connection. The cap has the metal bit on it that I showed you, pushing down on the spring, which is then pushing down on the carbon, and then the carbon's pushing down on a metal cylinder inside of there. I don't know what it does or what it's made out of. It's probably some kind of adamantium or vibranium or some kind of futuristic metal. Maybe Elon Musk metal, I don't know. But did y'all see that? That was pretty funny. Broke his glass. Anyway. So it works now, and it's exactly what I said it was. It was otherwise I wouldn't be showing you this video. The brushes had just worn down, as you can see there, the groove and the shortness as I showed you earlier. So now my Dremel works. Yay! Oh! So I'm glad you turned into my Dremel video. I hope you found it useful. If you guys want to come... I'm just kidding. So I hope you found the video useful. This is a very good investment of a tool. They don't sponsor me in any way, but I've been through a couple of these, as I mentioned, different kinds, and it's worth the money. I don't know what they cost. But thanks for tuning in. If any of you out there have any clicks left in your fingers, make sure to like, subscribe, and bell icon. What are you going to tell me about that? What? If you would like to help support the channel, it would mean so much if you would check out my Patreon. That is at patreon.com/actoydesign. I'm AC. And if you're already a Patreon subscriber, thank you very much. Your support means so much to me. In all seriousness, this is about as serious as I can be. And I will see you in the future. There it is. There you are.